Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie Colours. Thank you for joining me today and welcome back to part 6 of our full book colour along in R.J.Hampson's gorgeous book Awake. This page is called Longboarder and we have the cute little elephant surfing. His little friend is here underneath him, and this time we have a frame around our picture, so we've got a bit more real estate to colour because obviously I'm going to add a background sky to this. So I'm going to start with that background sky because that's the thing that's probably going to take me the longest to do. And I'm going to try and do something a little bit different. So I'm going to do a kind of sunset sky, hopefully, with some very soft colours. So I have RV030, RV260, YR110, and Y030. I'm going to be using a couple of these shades in other parts of my picture as well, but I'm going to start out with this RV030 and I'm going to add that kind of to the bottom part of my page here. I'm hoping this is going to work out. I have no idea if it will, but we'll give it a try and see. There's nothing like experimenting on camera, is there? So I'm just going to add that in to the bottom part here. So I have 4 markers, so I'm kind of thinking I'm going to try and divide this up into quarters, rough quarters. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm just going to lay this marker in kind of up to about a quarter of the way up the page here. Like I say, it does not have to be perfect. I'm just kind of doing it pretty roughly. Okay, so I don't want to add too much over to this side, just a little bit down here. And once that's kind of laid in there like that, that's my darkest one. And I'll probably go over this a couple of times to get a smoother blend. I'm going to bring out the RV260 and I'm going to add that over the top. Now these are different colors, like there's no denying that this one is more of a rosy pink. The other one was kind of almost a neon pink. But we'll work at those blends, so don't panic about that yet. Like I say, I'm probably going to go over these a couple of times. I just want to get in a base layer of color to begin with, kind of figure out how high I'm going up with each color before I move on to the next one. So that's all I'm doing. It's pretty straightforward at the moment, and we will worry about blending it all out and getting it looking pretty in a minute. So just kind of roughly going in. Like I say, we've just got a little bit more real estate to color with this page today, but I'm hoping this is going to work out. I'm hoping it's going to look okay. So at the moment, I'm not really worrying too much about these blends yet. We'll come back to those in a sec. Okay, I'm going to go in with my kind of peachy color, which is YR110. Let's add that in on top of this one, and I'm kind of just going to go up to this point here. You could almost use the chisel end of your marker if you wanted to make life a little bit quicker. I just always tend to use the brush end. I don't know why, it's just it kind of ingrained in me. So again, like I say, I'm not worrying about these blends. I'm just kind of laying in the color for now, and we will go back over things, smooth it out, and getting it looking pretty in a minute. This is just a rough kind of start, if you like, just to get that color laid in. And then the final color is Y030, and we're going to finish this off. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use the chisel end. It will be a little bit quicker. Again, this is pretty rough. Let's not stress about it. It's going to look a bit odd to begin with. We've just got stripes of color. I'm hoping, hoping that I can get it to look pretty. I'm hoping that I can get it all to blend out nicely and have it looking good. Fingers crossed. It might not work out, and if it doesn't, again, it's not the end of the world. It's just a bit of fun. So yeah, I haven't tried these colors like this before, so who knows? It might not work. Right, while I've got the yellow out, I'm gonna go down over this orangey color a little bit and just kind of smooth it out a little bit more. I'm trying to get the paper nice and wet, so I'm laying in quite a lot of the marker. The idea behind that is that the more alcohol that you have on the page, the smoother the blending will be, the easier the two colors will mix together and create a nice seamless transition between the two shades. That's the idea behind it. I'm hoping it will work. Who knows? But we can try. When the paper dries as well, it will dry down, so the colors will look a little bit different once it's dried as well. So it's not like this is not the finished result, if that makes sense. It does take a little while to dry down, especially if you've added a lot of the alcohol marker on and kind of made it nice and wet. It will take a little while to really dry down. Just going to go back in with that yellow again, just to kind of really work on that blend, just where those two colors meet, and try and get it look a little bit more seamless. Okay, let's work on this part now. So I've laid that orange in. I'm going to go in with this pink again, and again I'm adding quite a bit of it. I want it nice and wet. I want it to blend nicely. To be a little bit more careful because I've got the broad tip of the marker here. I'm going to revert to the brush nib so I can get into all those little areas. And again, making that paper nice and wet so that my two colours will blend, hopefully, relatively seamlessly rather. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to look great, but we'll give it a try. I just thought this would be kind of a fun background to do, something a little bit different, bit of a sunset sky. And remember, the sky's not perfectly, uniform all the way across, so if there are a few little streaks, it's not the end of the world. Okay, we're going to go in with this RB030 again. And it may be that I have to go back and forth between the blends a few times to get it looking how I want, or hopefully close to how I want. So we'll do that. I'm going to use the brush ends though, just to have a little bit more control over where I'm putting that. And like I say, when it dries down, I'm hoping it will dry down even smoother than what it looks right now. I don't think that's too bad. I'm going to leave it now. I'm going to let it dry back and see how it looks once it has dried, and if there's any areas that I need to work on a little bit more, I will do that. But for now, I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, let's work on my elephant. So I'm going to do him in some warm grays. I have WG4, WG3, and R.J.Hampson. There's not a huge amount of difference between the WG4 and WG3. Sorry, I'm getting my words tongue-tied. There's not a huge amount of difference between those two shades. Right, because I've got a kind of sunset sky, I'm just going to do a direct down light source just to keep things nice and simple. And see how we go. So I'm going to start with his head here and do bits of that. Such a cute, fun little image though. I just think it's adorable. Again, I'm just kind of adding shadows where I think they should be. I'm not an expert, so I if you want to do it differently, go ahead, do what works best for you. I hope you have been enjoying this little colour along series. I've been having so much fun with these pages. So quick and easy, and just, I don't know, it's really fun to see a page done and completed in a short space of time using alcohol markers, which are fun to use and create a really nice, bright, colourful page without spending hours and hours on it. There's nothing wrong with spending hours and hours on a page, but sometimes it's just nice to have something quick and easy to colour that really doesn't take long at all. And this little book is just perfect for this type of thing and this type of colouring. So I'm really having a lot of fun with it. I'm just going to blend that out a bit. I'm being pretty rough with this. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to add a little bit of texture to him once I've finished. I'll show you what I mean by that. Once I've finished colouring him all in. Okay. Let's go into this arm here. A little elbow will emphasise. Let's go around that bit as well. So it's been fun. I know some of you have been sharing your pages. I've seen them on Instagram. It's been really fun to see them. I really enjoy seeing the differences between all the pages. And yeah, it's just, you know, it's so cool. I really love it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm so thankful that R.J.Hampson came out with these cute little books. I was really I really had no intention of colouring this book at all. I really didn't. I had kind of planned to not get them at all, but I just kind of came up with the idea. I just wanted something simple and easy and quick to do, and I thought there might be other people out there who felt the same, who just wanted to have like almost like an instant gratification, isn't it? To like I say, sit down for 20-30 minutes. You know, this one might take slightly longer given that we've got that big sky to do, but just to have a page completed in that time and feel like you've really kind of accomplished something. I like that sense of gratification. I know, you know, maybe not everyone feels the same, but yeah, I like it. Okay, let's do his legs. Again, this is not a masterpiece. I'm just being super quick and not very careful with my colouring here. I'm just enjoying putting colour onto paper and kind of seeing it come to life because it's such a cute page. I kind of want to be this elephant right now, but I can't surf. I've tried. I'm not very good. I have tried. I got married in Hawaii and it was amazing. And we tried surfing in Hawaii, but yeah, I was not the best. Okay, so the paper's still a little bit wet. I just wanted to add some kind of dot details to my elephant in places, just to give his skin a little bit of a textured look. And I'm concentrating the dots kind of in the darker areas rather than the lighter. And because the paper's wet, it's kind of blending out. So it might be worth even going back in when the paper's a bit drier. So I might add that in when the paper dries off a little bit as well. But I'll add a few for now. Okay. Let's move on to his ears. I'm going to use some of the colours that I used in the background here. So I'm going to use this RV260 And I'm going to go in with that first. And then I'm going to add that RV030 just in touches, just to darken it up a little bit. Okay, now I've done his eyebrows. I think I'm just going to do them with the darkest colour, which is the WG4. Just going to colour them flat, plain colour. Okay, so let's do his friend while we've got those greys out. I'm going to do his friend in exactly the same way, just using those WG markers, so WG3, WG4 and RG030. So we have got kind of a red grey in there, but it's a nice warm grey colour. And he's just got his little head peeking out here. It's so cute. So I want to be careful that we keep those whites of his eyes, although you could always add them back in with a gel pen if you do kind of go over them. We'll just blend that out. I hope he doesn't crash down on his friend. He kind of does look like he's over above him and his surfboard's going to come crashing down any second on top of him. Okay, I'm now going to take some yellows and I'm going to do his board shorts in yellow with some pink flowers. So I've got Y2, Y050 and Y030. And we'll start again with our darkest, which is the Y2. Play in the shadows. And a few little flowers to get around here, so I'm just trying to be a little bit careful that I don't kind of go over them too much. Oh, wrong end. Mid-tone Y050. I'm going to blend that out a bit. Not the end of the world if you do go over the flowers a little bit. I think the pinks that I'm going to use for the flowers will probably cover that up anyway. Okay, and then our Y030, which is the same colour that we used for the top part of our sky up here. Lots of little bits to go around. Takes a bit of concentration. But there we go. So he's got his yellow board shorts on. Okay, while I've got that yellow out, I'm going to do the kind of edge of his surfboard here in the same yellow colour. Kind of wanted to do, I don't know, something a little bit bright and fun for his surfboard and his shorts. Keep him kind of, you know, looking like a trendy surfer. I don't know. So I'm just going to blend that out a bit. And then I'll use the lightest marker for those top edges. Again, it's very fine there, so if it goes over the edge, don't panic because we're going to cover that up anyway. Okay, so that's that done. I'm going to bring out the pinks that I'm going to use. So I've got RV080, R15 and RV030, which is that darkest pink that I used on the sky. And I'm going to start with my darkest marker and kind of just add some shadows around the edges of my flowers. Some nice bright kind of almost a hot pink colour. Don't know what to do with the centres yet of the flowers, so I'm just going to leave them for now and I'll think about them in a minute. Okay, go in with my mid-tone, which is the R15. Blend that out a little bit. So I'm doing this book in order. I think it's in order. I tried to keep it in order as I printed it off, so I think I'm doing it in order. So definitely doing because you can actually download the book in parts, so you don't have to purchase the entire book. You can download it in 5 different parts, and each part has 10 pages. So I am definitely doing it in order of the parts. So all these first 10 pages will come from part 1 of the book, and so on and so forth. So I've tried to keep them in order, and I think I've got them in order. I kept them in order as I printed them off, so I think that's the order that we're doing them in. Okay, I'm just going to use the darkest marker for the center of the flowers and keep it nice and simple. I'm not going to do anything fancy with that. And then I'm going to do the kind of middle part of his board with these same pink markers so that I keep everything nice and cohesive. So he's going to have a little bit of shadow where his feet are, so I add that in there. And then go in with our mid-tone. And with our lightest. Okay, it's looking nice and bright so far. Right, let's do the water. That's pretty much all we've got left. So I'm going to kind of do like turquoisey greens. I have PB10, G340 and G420 for this. And I'm going to start with that darkest marker. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do each wave, if you like, separately, so that we kind of keep the paper wet as we move across. So it's going to be a shadow under there because of the surfboard. I'm just going to do each little bit individually as I go along so that I can keep the paper nice and wet. Now these 2 shades, there's quite a bit of difference between them, so I am having to work a little bit on my blends. That's okay. I'm just going to keep going over and over those same areas until I get it looking smoother. I'm going to finish off with my lightest marker. Oh, I keep getting the wrong end. Okay. And if you need to, if you feel the need, you can always go back in and add that shadow in again to deepen it up and make it look really, you know, like that nice contrast that you get. Okay. Some of these lines are definitely a lot thinner than others, so you kind of just have to be a little bit careful that you're not bleeding across the lines too much. Again, I'm going to have to work a little bit between those transitions. Yep, and smoothed out. And then we can use our lightest marker on top. I kind of like this more turquoisey colour for water. I just feel like it looks, I don't know, better than just a straight blue, but that's just my opinion. So if you wanted to do more of a green colour, more of a blue colour for the water, feel free. This is just kind of the colours that I tend to gravitate towards when I'm colouring water. But like I say, I'm not an expert. I just kind of do what feels good to me and what I like. So if you want to do something different, then please do go ahead. And that's one of the great things about coloring, is that, you know, you can do the same page and it can look completely different. So I really like that. Okay, so a little bit fine in here. I'm just going to add a touch of that darker marker. And we can add some white gel pen detail on here as well to kind of make it look a little bit better. Okay, let's go in with the lightest marker. Okay, let's finish this big wave here. Yeah, we're almost done with this. We've got this big bit here now, so thinking about how I'm going to tackle this bit. I'm going to add that in there. I'm going to add some darker bit around the base here as well and kind of make it look like a wave shape. Blend that out a bit. Again, you might find that you need to blend over certain shades a few times to get that kind of nice transition. I prefer it when there's like no kind of harsh lines between the two shades. I want it to look smooth, but sometimes you can't get it looking perfect. It's just, you know, you do your best. And definitely working in sections helps because it, you know, it's easier to blend between the two shades when the paper is wet. I keep saying that over and over again, but it's so important with alcohol markers that you keep the paper wet when you're working with it, because the marker will blend so much smoother if it is wet rather than dry. Okay, that's not too bad. I've just got that last little bit at the back there. And I'm going to add my darkest marker down the bottom here. There's just a little bit of room for that lightest. And then for these top parts of the wave, I want to keep them pretty white, but I'm just going to go in with the lightest marker and add a little bit of shadow towards the base of it, just to make it look like it is, you know, water. And I'm going to keep it like that. Okay, so pretty much done. I'm going to add some white gel pen details, and I'm going to come back in with that dark grey again, the WG4, and add my dot details back in. Now that this grey area has dried a bit, it'll probably stay on and be a little bit more noticeable And I like to do this with, particularly with animals, but things like rocks and stuff as well. It's kind of fun to add a little bit of dot detail. Gives their skin a little bit of a textured look. And it just adds a little bit more fun to the page, something else to add in. Not that you have to. You can, by all means, keep it as is if you want, but I just think it makes it look a little bit fun. And like I say, I tend to concentrate on the darker areas and just add the dots into those areas rather than add it all over the page. Let's give the sky a few as well. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to pull out my gel pen. I've been using this one lately, which I've been enjoying. It's my Uniball Signo broad tipped pen, and I've been enjoying using this one. So again, I never really know where to put this. I just kind of go in and add it wherever it feels right. Hope for the best. Came out a bit scratchy there. Seems to be working okay now. Sometimes, I don't know, I find gel pens can be quite temperamental, can't they? Like, sometimes they go on really smoothly and then other times they look a bit patchy. I don't know. Maybe I'm using the wrong. Let's do a little bit of highlight across here and down here. And do a little bit on the front of his leg here. I might do a little bit down this bit too. And maybe down here. Like so. A little bit on his surfboard. Okay. Now I definitely want to add some to my water, but I'm not gonna kind of, I did consider going over all the black lines of the water. Maybe we should do that. But I think a Posca pen or something would be better for that purpose. Okay, let me grab a Posca, we'll do that, hold on. Okay, so I have my white Posca here. I just have this bullet shaped one. I haven't actually used it that often, but let's go in. It'll be a lot easier than using a gel pen to cover these white lines. Again, it's, you know, it's a step that you don't have to do. It's not necessary. Ooh, 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 now I've messed it up. Oh, I don't know what happened. Right, let's get some tissue. Ah, disaster. Let's see if we can scooch that off a little bit. Oh, now I'm getting it everywhere. Okay. Bit of a disaster, but not the end of the world. Oh, typical. Okay, never mind, we can fix that up. Let's carry on doing this and hope it doesn't come all out in a big chunk again. Oh my goodness. Well, a good thing about filming, isn't it? Everything goes wrong. Okay, that's okay, we can work with that. See me trying to be fancy, adding bits in where I should probably just leave it as is, shouldn't I? I don't think it's too bad, and I think I can fix those bits. Now I'm scared to push it in case it happens again, which it does. Maybe I haven't shaken it up enough. I thought I had. I'm gonna have to go over those other bits again. Give it another shake. See if I can get the consistency of it better. It's a bit runny when it first comes out. Oh my goodness, it's dripping everywhere. I'm having a disaster with my pen. Oh well, not the end of the world. Let's carry on and hope for the best. Maybe I should have stuck with gel pen. Maybe that would have been better. Never mind, too late now. I'm scared to press in to get any more paint out, but it's not, kind of all comes out in a big rush and then it doesn't flow freely, if that makes sense. I don't know. Never have much luck with paint pens, in all honesty. Okay, let's do these bits. Okay, it seems to be working a bit better now. I don't know. Didn't like me to begin with. Right. I'm just going to do that whole thing kind of in white. And let's do... I think I might have to go over some of these a couple of times. Like this area. Just to get it looking really white, because it seems to be kind of not covering as opaquely as I would wish. Oh, it's okay. Definitely need more practice in using paint markers. But oh well, now I've got paint all over my fingers as well. That's okay. Right, let's see. I think this bit's dried a bit, so let's go back over that. Well, it's not as bad a disaster as I thought it was going to be initially when that big splodge happened. So, you know, small mercies. I think it looks all right. It doesn't look too bad. Okay, I might end up spending a long time messing around with this. So what I might do, oh, I haven't done this bit. I might kind of call it quits here in a sec, and then I will mess around off camera, and what I'll do is I'll just add a couple of layers of Posca over the top until I get it looking nice and you know, opaque white. But other than that, that is the page done. And so I don't think it turned out too bad given my little disaster down here. It's not too obvious, thank goodness. But yeah, I'm going to go and wash my hands, and then I'll just go over that wave a couple of times with my Posca to get it nice and opaque, and then that will be the completed page. I don't know whether to add, should I add some glossy accents to his eyes? I might as well. Let's try my glossy accents. Let's see if I have more luck with these than my Posca. So I'm just gonna, oh, it's running. Clogs up so easily, this, and normally end up spending ages trying to unclog it. I'm just gonna add a touch of that there to his eyes. I'll do this guy as well. I initially thought about putting it all over the water, but I just thought that would take too much effort. So I decided not to bother. But there we go, that is my completed page. The only thing I'm going to do extra is add a little bit of white over that, those waves again, and just go over them a couple of times with my Posca and try not to make too much of a mess. My background, I don't think it's perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm happy to leave it as is. I think it works okay for what I want for this page, which is just to have a little bit of fun and enjoy the process, apart from my posture exploding. But I hope you enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun colouring this guy. He's so cute, and thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.